experience gives me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Can get you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Can get you out of my head, get you out of my head again.
Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Fools are calling and the eyes seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, I'm sick of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Now that I need you, why? Just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks, I'll beat it down. I swear to live just to tell you, don't leave the way, don't leave the same. Then I try with a child's play in the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
We don't need no sleep because the party don't stop. So put your hands on me and turn me on, turn me up. We don't need no sleep because the party don't stop. So put your hands on me and turn me on, turn me up.
And boom, just like that, it's Thursday night. And you know what that means? It's party time with us, the Video Bros. I'm Bobby Munson, and the man beside me, you know him. He is the man with the angelic voice. He is Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, how are you doing, brother?
Woo, I'm doing great, Munson. You gave that intro just a little bit extra mustard tonight. I love it.
Oh, yeah, because I'm pumped up, folks. We're talking independent wrestling, which is what we love to do here on Ring Respect Radio. We talk independent wrestling. We talk territory wrestling. We got a lot of good shit going on here. And again, we got a lot of good shit coming up because I can officially announce here, Papa Smokes, a couple of big things that we've got coming up on the channel, or not the channel, but Ring Respect Radio in particular. And first and foremost, Ed Fries is going to be hosting Ring Respect Radio coming up at the end of the month. In particular, Papa Smokes, did you know this? And I hope this is all right with you. Halloween is officially on Ring Respect Radio night this year.
Oh, man, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 30th.
Are we wearing costumes, Munson?
If you like to, we could throw on some sort of mask or something. But our good friend Ed Fries has agreed that we can do the WTF Do We Know About Wrestling Trivia Night, hosted by Ed Fries on that particular one, so that you and I can be on that one. So that is going to be coming up on Halloween, October the 31st. I'll mention it again later in the program. But yeah, I discussed it with Ed, and if that's good with you, Pops, folks, that's the date we're rolling with.
Sounds good. I'm not going to be trick-or-treating, Munson. Also not handing any candy out for free to any kids that come to my door. What kind of place do they think this is? I'm going to give out free candy to kids I don't even know? No way.
Exactly. Plus, normally that would probably be the night where we would be covering the latest for Prairie Pro Wrestling, doing our review of the PPW's October Halloween Ring of Horror show. So we're going to push that one back to the week after that. So we are going to still give that to you guys. So a week after that is when we'll give you the lowdown of what went down at the Ring of Horrors 3. So we're going to have to, in a couple of weeks here, Pops, folks, look at doing another trip through the territories as we prepare for a big one. And we haven't set the date yet, but either the November 7th or the 21st, the Video Bros are going to be live on location at Louis' Pub at the University of Saskatchewan, in conjunction with the University of Saskatchewan, doing a trip through the territories for Saskatchewan. We're going to go through the history of pro wrestling here in the province. We're going to talk about some of the changes in diversity throughout the industry and stuff like that. I believe that after my conversation today, if all goes well, we are going to virtually have Rachel Ling join in to talk about her impact on professional wrestling in the province as well too. So you're going to be able to get tickets and join us in a live capacity. But for you around the world, our fans, you're going to be able to watch it as a regular episode live stream of Ring Respect Radio here when we're on location. And, you know, speaking of those friends around the world, it's Ed Fries joining us up in the house saying, "Pop the smokes." And
Yo,
Munson.
Ed.
There we go. But if you can't tell, Pop Smokes, and I'm sure you are too, I'm stoked about the big events that we got planned here for the show.
Oh, so am I. And it just feels like the podcast is taking steps forward, like we've taken many baby steps throughout the years here, but this seems like a big one. We're going legit. We're going with the university library, the university pub, doing some legit history for the Saskatchewan professional wrestling history. I'm loving this project. It's going to be fun, and we haven't done anything in the live capacity yet, Munson. This will be interesting. This will be wild, and we'll be down there at Louis' Pub.
Yeah, it's going to be insane, and like to think about it, we think we get our nerves going before we come live here on Ring Respect Radio, as it is, Pop Smokes. We're going to have a live audience watching us before we even get the chance to get the nerves out of the way before going live to the world. So it's going to be a very interesting time. But again, I'm very much looking forward to it. And Ed, yes, that Halloween quiz will be on Halloween, which is absolutely phenomenal. Can't wait for Ed Fries to host the WTF Do We Know About Wrestling Halloween edition here on Ring Respect Radio, legitimately on Halloween. Like, fuck yeah, you don't get much better than that. Basser's in the house. Evening, guys. Evening, Basser. How you doing, my friend? I know what Basser is going to be up to on Saturday, October the 26th, Papa Smokes, as the Ring of Horror is going to be taking place. And Basser, please tell me you went and bought a damn ticket for it already. Please tell me you got yourself one of the GA tickets, general admission, because if you don't, get your ass down there and buy it now, like ASAP, because I'm telling you, even those are selling fast. This show, I think, Papa Smokes, will be sold out before we get to the 26th of October.
I have no doubt of that. And the fans, our PPW Nation, know that as well. So that's why the tickets are going fast. Nobody wants to miss this one. This is the big show of the year, not including handing out the first ever championship for the tag team division in PPW. That's extremely exciting. But you know that some of these stories we've been following with rivalries between the wrestlers, some of that stuff is going to get decided on the Halloween show Ring of Horrors. Not to mention the Costume Battle Royal, which is always a fan favorite, always a good time. Fans, get your tickets now. They aren't going to last.
You bet. Tag titles, TLC, and costume battle royals, and so much more. It's going to be a great night. As we say hello to Bobby Stats in the house. How you doing, Bobby? Hello
Hey,
to
Bobby.
you and Diane. Saying that he likes my T-shirt. I appreciate that. And Papa Smokes is as well too. But yes, it's one I picked up from the show over in Edmonton I went to. But yeah, Wasp, fantastic. Yeah, I got my Ice 9 kills here, especially for the season. It's October season, so I gotta be sporting the Ice 9 kills. Yes, BDJ, holy hell, standing room only, and even
Yeah.
that is going fast, my man. So get yourselves down to Hunter's Bowl in Saskatoon or to Glitch Gifts and snap up your tickets now, because I'm telling you, there won't be tickets left come October 26th. I'm just saying, it's not official yet, but I'm pretty certain there's not going to be anything left by the time we open those doors on the 26th. It's Halloween series. It's Halloween time, baby. That's why, Bobby, if you didn't hear, the 26th and BDJ, you got to be listed too. Not on the 26th, the 31st, Halloween night here on Ring Respect Radio. It's What the Fuck Do We Know About Wrestling Pub Trivia Night, hosted by Ed Fries, being participated by the Video Bros. Who else are we going to have show up? It's going to be a very big spectacular here on Ring Respect Radio. BDJ's going to come defend that title, Papa Smokes. I'm waiting to see it.
Oh, for all the titles that are going to get defended around here in October, that's one of the big ones, the Twitch Championship. You know, the BDJ's been very proud of his victory last time. Actually came in a couple questions late and still won the title. He's been parading around with that belt ever since. We expect to see him on that night, Halloween night. BDJ, take your kid out for trick-or-treating early, because by 7 o'clock, you got to be ready to go.
That's right. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time, and that championship's up for grabs. Can't wait to do it. Can't wait to participate, because the Quizmaster that night is going to be Ed Fries, so I have to participate just like everybody else here, Papa Smokes. I got to put my money where my mouth is and actually show my cards that night, so we'll see how well I can do when it comes to wrestling trivia. I fear for it, because last time out was when I was on Mark's channel doing this, and I got my clock cleaned by Tom Collahue and Lauren Goodnight.
No, it's harder than you think, isn't it? You're Alex Trebek. You have the answers up there, but some of those questions are pretty tricky.
Yep.
And I know that Ed's a clever guy, and he's going to have a couple twists and turns in there. Probably some questions about Halloween Havoc from the past, and maybe the spin the wheel, make your deal matches from the past that always came during this spooky season. I know Ed's going to have some beauties for us lined up.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Looking forward to it. But maybe it's time we get into our main topic of the night here, Papa Smokes. Give the people what they showed up to this particular episode for, and that's to talk a little bit about Riot City Wrestling. Our good friends at RCW out in Australia, they got more releases there on YouTube, and I figured it was time to give them some more love as we watched RCW Blast, a Brawl in Mount Gambier 2024. I think I pronounced that right. It's Gambier. Is that how they were pronouncing it there?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. If any of our Australian fans are watching, feel free to correct me in the comment section. But so this one, unlike the last one, which is kind of like the full show, we got the battle royal show that they did there at the Riot City Rumble. This time around, this is more like their monthly or semi-monthly kind of almost television program, almost produced like it could be on a television show or television channel in Australia itself. You have the commentators coming in, setting up the show for you and everything like that. And then as they go to the matches, they don't fiddle around with entrances and stuff like that. It gets right down into it. Ring the bell, here we go, matches on kind of situation. So a different look than what we were used to from the previous event.
For sure. And you can see that this is kind of their touring spot show or house show, as they call them nowadays. Probably not really advancing any storylines they have or anything, but putting on an exhibition for the fans in the other towns. I liked the way they started this show a whole bunch, because you got to meet the commentators. They sat at the desk and looked very professional. The production throughout these guys' shows is quite top notch for an indie wrestling company. I liked the commentators a bunch, and I liked what they did at the beginning of this show was gave you a little bit of background about RCW, said we're a South Australian company. We're based in Adelaide, but we do lots of shows on the road, including Mount Gambier and a couple of other places they mentioned.
Yeah.
And then they also kind of told you a little bit about the city or town of Mount Gambier, told just a little bit about attractions there, showed a couple of clips of what the city looks like, and just a little tiny bit of history about the place. For me, that's interesting. For me, especially a guy living in a country of half a world away, it's neat to know that stuff. It's neat to just get a little bit of background, see what the place looks like, get the guys to tell you a bit about it, and then it colors up the entire show for you. It's not just the ring that's shown or the inside of the venue. You get to learn a little bit about Mount Gambier at the same time. Classy, like this touch a lot.
I did a lot too. I'm really glad they did it. And just gonna cut short there for 1 second. As Bastard said, I lit a fire up under his ass. He's driving to the city right now with Benny to go get these PPW tickets. Good on you, Bass. I'm not kidding you, man. I've got the message from the sponsors talking about how they're thinking they're not going to have those tickets for long. They had multiple phone calls coming in every single hour, people asking, and we've told them on social media, there are no more seats left. Go down to the sponsors and get your tickets. So, Bass, hopefully they've got them there for you, brother. I would hate for you. We'll find a way for Bass one way or another, but Bass, go get your tickets, and we'll see you on the 26th for sure. Hopefully you'll see you before then as well, too. Oh, he already talked to Doyle. He talked to Doyle. He's good. Okay, good.
I was going to say you might have to bring your trench coat, and then you would have to sit on Bass's shoulder and put the coat around him and just look like a 7-foot man walking in.
We'll just put Bastard back on the camera. Dude, you fucked up. You got to work camera tonight. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Bad for you.
The only way you can get in is by working.
Yeah, that's right. That's the next way in there. Or this could be the other Bastard in the Rumble. I mean, there's always that as well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Bastard did pull off a really good look at Steve Austin last year at the Halloween show, I got to say.
Yeah, absolutely true. And, with some of the verbal contributions he makes to the show, there might be a few wrestlers that would like him to have him in the Rumble as well.
There's a few that would like to have him in the Rumble, I'm sure, for smacking him around a little bit, too. So, it'd be very interesting, nonetheless. But back to RCW. I going back to that, the way the open and stuff like that, and learning more about their country and about the particular area that they're in. I love that touch. And like you say, Pop Smokes, it's again because we are so far away and not world traveled all the time where we know all these things. It's great to say, even for an argument, you went to Australia, chances are you didn't necessarily ever go to Mount Gambier. So it's nice to learn about that particular area and, some of the things that make it great and stuff. And they do a fantastic job of starting you off like that. And then it goes right from there. They just go straight down to ringside, which I liked as well, too. They didn't waste a lot of time in getting down to the nitty gritty of it and stuff like that. So we start the night off Redshaw versus #hard Banjo Powers. We talked about this guy a lot last time, Pop Smokes. And I liked this as an opener. I thought this was a solid opening way. I thought the commentary did a great job, especially discussing back and forth about the history of these two, having met up at one point when Banjo really was just getting his feet wet in the industry at that point in time too. I love how through this match, Banjo does that one backflip there, lands on his feet, starts selling his I believe it's his right knee or something like that. Redshaw then goes after that knee throughout the rest of the match, continues to attack it, working it, taking away the aerial ability of Banjo Powers, but great back and forth between these two to kick things off in this matchup. In the end, it's Banjo gets the shock roll up and a victory over Redshaw. They talked about last time out, Redshaw was the victor over Banjo Powers, and that was a couple of years back, but now Banjo Powers seemingly has gotten better. Redshaw maybe underestimated, took his eye off the prize for a moment. Banjo Powers comes out successful. I thought this was a great starter.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that for sure. And we've talked about different booking strategies for any kind of show, but let's look at this one as as a spot show or as a house show, as they call them now, you've got to get that audience engaged in your product right off the bat. So it's maybe not the best idea to do the traditional booking of kind of going from cold to hot. You want to start off at a pretty decent temperature, and that's these two guys could handle that job quite easily. I like Renshaw. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's got the kind of a scary look to him, almost a biker or a kind of satanic guy. He almost reminds me of Malachi a little bit, and
Yeah.
really knows how to heal it up good. Has that scary look, and then Banjo Powers, man, just nice pure baby face, comes over hard, 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 hard. Very cool. See, that
Yeah.
gets the fans engaged in the match as well. Let them participate. Let them do something. Give them a chant that they can all do together. This is classic wrestling ring work 101. By ring work, I don't mean moves and flips and reversals and chop fights. I'm talking about engaging with that audience. Hey guys, I'm going to give you some energy. You guys give it back to me and I'll give you more. And boom, it just goes back and forth in waves. Very, very smart and very, very good. Got this crowd warm and got this show off with a bang.
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm going to say this to a lot of our audience who tend to lean towards watching a lot of the bigger programming and stuff like that. Don't sleep on companies like this, because a lot of stars have been made out of working in the companies such as RCW. For example, everybody's been going bonkers on the internet about the video that played for the debut of Delta in NXT coming up. And I will have you know, Delta was a Riot City Wrestling roster member for quite some time. So when we're talking about some of these wrestlers coming out of RCW right now, these could be your next NXT debuts in a few years from now, or sooner, depending on who it is.
Very much so. And look at the way that Australia has turned out superstars for the big companies over the last few years. We've talked about this before when we've reviewed RCW and also New Zealand SPW wrestling as well.
Yep.
From the Dakota Kais to the Rhea Ripleys to the Bronson Reeds to the what's his name, Grayson Waller.
Yeah, you got Grayson Waller there. Indy Hartwell,
there's
again.
Yeah, there are many more than that, and it's clear that Australia has a good seed that's able to train and turn out some top level wrestlers. So if you're a big fan of wrestling at whatever level, you'd be good to watch some of these quality indie companies, pardon me, because you might just see the next big draft pick, the next big signing to the big company, one or more come out of these companies. So yeah, very, very much so.
And there's a few that we're going to be talking about here today. If you would, we saw at the Southern Rumble even, that I could see being ones that would push that envelope and be able to be accepted over into some of the bigger companies. So it'd be great. As we say hello, Astrid's in the house there, Pop Smokes. Was able to have the opportunity to go out and meet Astrid in person finally just this past weekend. It was absolutely delightful. Thank you for visiting here in Canada, Astrid. I hope you enjoyed your time, and it was wonderful for my wife and I get the opportunity to meet you. Bobby now saying, who knows, RCW wrestlers could go to TNA and MLW. They very well could. That door's always open. You got AEW, and a lot go over to New Japan. Like, people talk about Robbie Eagles, a big name for New Japan for a long ass time. And again, another one that graced these companies like RCW and stuff like that in Australia first. So, in Toronto on her way home still. So, okay, making the long flight home still. But yeah, with a layover in Toronto. That is one interesting airport there in Toronto. Not the biggest one I've ever been in, but still a very interesting one.
Hope you had a good trip, Astrid. I wish I could have met you as well, but I'm glad you got to come up and see Canada, got to meet some of the other Olay people, and got to see Edmonton and some of the wrestling shows there. Awesome.
BDJ, hopefully not at Pearson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Could
fair
be a
enough.
while, maybe. Yeah,
It could be. So, yeah, no. So, yeah, big shout out to the Australian talents. They're, kicking ass and taking names lately. It's less than the other one. I'm not a fan of this airport. Nobody ever is. Nobody ever walks out of there saying that about Toronto. No, nobody says that about Toronto, period. I mean, let's just not kid ourselves. We do pop spokes for next time. We will make it happen. Super Olay Day will happen one of these days.
for sure, for sure.
Moving on from there, Papa Smokes, we go to a match. It was a triple threat match. It's Katie Trey versus Red Smash 2 versus Hugh Beauty. This is kind of what I would expect. I mean, you almost in this day and age of professional wrestling, you have to have these types of matches. People want to have their triple threats. They want to get their reps in and that excitement and the no DQ stuff. It's not always for me. Were any of these guys bad? No. There's nothing wrong with these guys individually. These guys are just fine. There's a lot of talent in there and everything like that. I just kind of I find it hard to call a triple threat that has nothing that stands out for me because I've seen this type of match so many times and it doesn't appeal to me personally, I guess, so to speak. But nothing wrong with the competitors in the match. I think they're all extremely talented, capable professional wrestlers.
Yeah, you put it very well also, Munson. I can't say this match was particularly for me. I'm not much of a three-way match guy. I understand when and why they are made sometimes. Often it's because there's more than one person clamoring for a title shot and they include two. This wasn't really the case in this match, but they had an extra guy and they booked it, and I get it. I totally get it. I find three ways in general, and this match was no exception, a bit of a mess. They don't seem as convincing to me when one guy gets a couple of chops and then is selling outside the ring for 5 minutes, that general sort of thing. But I'm not going to crap on any of this. I like this company. The talents performed perfectly well. I liked the Red Smash a little bit. Like he had some popping moves for the crowd. He was very good. He could do the moves on two guys at the same time. Cool. I have no doubt that the live audience enjoyed this match a whole bunch. Not exactly to my taste, but it was there. And once again, it's bottom of the card. Second match in, you can get away with this kind of thing. And it kept the crowd warm until the rest of the evening.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Hugh Beauty last time out in the Southern Rumble was mentioned as he was quite new or brand new to the industry. So again, this is another opportunity for a young guy to get in there, get his reps in, work with some other talent that's been around. I know Katie Trey is a name that's been floating around Riot City Wrestling for a fair amount of time now. So again, another opportunity for experienced wrestlers to work with up and coming talents to be able to kind of get them a feel for the scene and a feel for what's going on in the company. So again, there's your silver lining right there. When you ask me, kept the crowd hot.
Sure.
There's a lot of people that this does appeal to, and these are talented individuals that are also working on bringing up other talents into the industry as well too. So all the credit to them for what they went about doing here.
And in terms of a three-way match, might not be your or my favorite thing, but
yeah,
if for us an indie company, sometimes you have an odd number of wrestlers that are there or whatever. If you want to throw a young guy into a match with two other guys in order that young wrestler gets some reps, gets some experience in front of a live crowd, and working with the TV production or the video production, that's a win-win situation. Now your young guy is getting reps. He doesn't have to get left off the card or bumped off the card. Stick him in there and make it a three-way, and everybody comes out on top. He gets some reps and some experience, and the fans get a lively three-way match.
Yeah, and Hugh Beauty ended up picking up the surprise win as well too, pinning Red Smash.
Yeah.
So really gets him over a little bit more. So lot of good that we can say. Whether again, when it's not our cup of tea, that's fine. But we will try to find that silver lining, which is what we have done here. Up next, we have a match between Mr. Cliff taking on Snacks. Snacks is his name I remember from last time out. Commentary does a great job of telling us that Mr. Cliff has never won a singles match or any match in Riot City Wrestling. I'm like, so is this guy their local enhancement? This is the local enhancement of Riot City Wrestling. He's the guy there to put over. But if that's the case, Jesus Christ, do they let him get some reps in? Because this was a competitive matchup. Again, when they sold me on this guy's never won, I'm like, okay, this is going to be that match where this is to make Snacks look really good. I'm like, no, at times I started to wonder, is Snacks going to be the victim of the first victory of Mr. Cliff? And I was there for it. I went in with a thought that I wasn't going to enjoy this one, and I enjoyed it more than I expected to, I guess, way to put it.
That's fair. And in a way, this was an enhancement match. Did you get any vibes like from Mr. Cliff? Any Principal Pound vibes from him?
Very much so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's got the whole mean teacher kind of thing going on. He's got the detention slips in his pocket. He's going to give you detention and everything. Oh, yes. Snacks wasn't having any of that. And like you said, it was probably fairly clearly an enhancement match to get young Snacks over, but they made him go through hell to get there because Cliff is a pretty big guy and he used weight and leverage and experience to put a pretty good little beating on Snacks. Snacks kind of in his presentation reminded me a little bit of Hook. He's kind of got those boxing trunks and the kind of boxing boots. He's a young, handsome guy with a cool hairdo. Not as cool a hairdo as Hook, of course, but yeah, let's be reasonable here. But this match was good, and you could see what this was doing, and Snacks sold all the way through this match. Got so much heat built up that the crowd was ready for him to make his comeback. And he came back hot, and he had some nice moves. What did I put in my notes here? He had a really nice sit-down drop kick that sent Cliff careening into the ropes and all that. And then he finished him off with a nice swanton bomb from the top rope. So, again, looking good in this match. Everybody thought that Mr. Cliff might be a pushover completely for Snacks, but they built it, and they got a nice match out of it. And Mr. Cliff maybe came close a few times to getting his first win, but alas, it was not to be. Young Snacks looks like he might be one of the big guys in the future for RCW, so they gave him a learning match and put him over big time. This victory makes him look real good on this card.
Oh, I agree. And I like the Principal Pound reference for us here in Saskatchewan, especially. But prior to you and I doing reviews of our friends over at SPW, there was a faction over there known as Detention. And that was kind of their whole motto too, is the bad principal and the bad teachers and stuff like that handing out detention all the time to you punk kids and everything. So I see where they're going with it. It's great. It's an easy way to draw some good heel heat. Again, for a guy who clearly he's a guy there to put other guys over, and there is no harm in that. We have mass amounts of respect for anybody willing to do the job for others to make them look good. There is every bit of room in this industry for somebody willing to do that level of work.
Very much so. And for all the fans that think they're smart, they want to throw around the word jobber and stuff like that, you don't get it. That's as much an important part of every wrestling company and every show as the guys who win. So there's no shame in that whatsoever. And you're doing an extremely important job when you do that. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Cliff looking good in doing that. Got the kids riled up. Everybody hates the mean teacher and the mean principal. We want the cool, young, handsome kid to win. And he did. He laid a beating on Mr. Cliff and pulled out that pinfall. Good stuff. Third match on the card. This crowd is at a nice plateau of feeling and energy at this point.
You bet. And then that's where they turned it up from there. It's like you've got your preliminary stuff in. We started off with, a decent upper mid card matchup. We kind of worked our way from there with a couple of, not full on enhancements, but matches that were utilized to get the next level of talent over in their company, which is fantastic. And now we start bringing out some of the heavy hitters and some of the bigger names. We start first with the RCW Tag Team Championship, the Kings of Ruin, which is Mickey Fortune, who won the Riot City Rumble recently and has that guaranteed championship match coming up. And her tag team partner, Zach Sabbath, taking on the tag team champions of Thorn Enterprises. That's Kai Toa and Bob, and they were accompanied by Izzy Shaw. Again, this was where you start to really notice the level of talent that they're putting in that ring when you've got your tag team champions who looked good throughout this thing. Bob, for the shape and look of this guy, I mean, I like Bob. I thought Bob was a lot of fun to watch. I think he's a good talent in that ring. Kayatoa, I think, complimented him quite well as well too. And this was more a chance to finally get to see more Mickey Fortune and find out more about Mickey Fortune's ability. Mickey Fortune looks quite sharp in the ring. I have the utmost respect for how they're utilizing her. I think that there's a reason why they put her over in that matchup, because I think she is going to be able to, stand toe to toe with the champion and give them a quality main event title matchup.
Yeah, well put, Munson. And we all know that Mickey Fortune caught everybody's eye on the last match or the last card that we watched, coming out of the Rumble with a huge victory. And just as we were talking about all the stars and budding stars that are coming out of Australia, this could easily be one of them right here.
Mm-hmm.
RCW obviously recognizes her skill and talent in the ring. You can see that she has probably been a little project for them to help along the way. And you can see that she's also getting her wheels underneath her. She reminds me a little bit of PPW Zoe Sager, always a good talent in the ring, always practicing the moves, doing the moves really good, but now coming with some personality. Now, Mickey, of course, on the babyface side of things, is bonding with the crowd. The crowd is firmly behind her. She's also the only woman working in this company seemingly on a regular basis. As far as we know, she's been the only woman in the last couple of shows, excuse me, wrestling in the men's division, wrestling an intergender tag team match with nothing spoken about it, nothing said, oh, well, maybe they don't have the advantage because there's a woman on their team. No, there's nothing said about it. She's in there as an equal, and she holds her own perfectly well. She's got the charisma. She's got the skill. I could see her going somewhere in this business, not only in the country of Australia, but possibly higher than that.
Well, and again, let's also mention that they mentioned on commentary, Mickey Fortune is going to be making her return to Japan. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually Toshi Japanese Pro Wrestling that Mickey Fortune is going to be making her return to right away. So she is going to be out in the Japan area. So she is going to be world traveled. This is someone who will push for those opportunities. And we haven't even started to mention Zach Sabbath, who is somebody that they have had at the top of their card before. We had a great showing from him at the Riot City Rumble as well, too. And again, it goes to show right here that Zach Sabbath is a top wrestler in their company, in their country. And this is somebody that the eyes are going to be on. He's a good looking guy. He goes out there. He fights a good wrestling match, and he complemented working with Mickey Fortune perfectly. They've got a team name, so I'm assuming that this isn't the first time the two of them have worked together inside that ring. And again, it shows this was a good tag team matchup for the belts.
Very much so. And in terms of a wrestling card, just like you said before, you could see where the preliminaries ended and where the volume got turned up on the talent and experience in the ring. This was now, we're moving to the top of the card. This was a quality tag team match. You can see once again that this is a house show or a spot show, so they're building some of their younger stars at this show and entertaining a local crowd in a different city at the same time. This is another win-win situation, both for RCW as a wrestling company and for the fans, because they're getting to see some of the stars of tomorrow in Australian wrestling, getting to see them today, and Mickey Fortune being one of those very prominent ones.
Yeah. And again, very much coming close to becoming new tag team champions, but a little bit of
Yep.
interference is all it took to get a disqualification. The tag team champions lose the match by DQ, but they keep their belts. Perfect way of doing it. Again, this is very much the road traveled professional wrestling way of getting out of the situation. Is you've got your team that you the babyface team that in every rights on paper should be able to get those belts and have a run as the tag team champions, but they get cheated out of it. The champ, by hook or by crook, the way you say it, Papa Smokes, is the champion takes advantage, and that's exactly what happened here in this match.
And the fans are going to have to learn that, just as PPW fans learned it the hard way. When you have a villain that's got one of your belts, they can hold on to it for a long time if they want to, because, like we always say, the champ doesn't have to beat the challenger has to beat the champ. And we watched Sheik Akbar Shabazz have a reign of terror for almost 2 years in PPW, holding on to that belt, not gaining any particularly impressive victories along the way, but always holding on to the belts. I have the feeling that's what this tag team's doing in this company.
Yeah, Sneaky Sheiky's on title run number 2 at this point too, and I fear for how long we might be seeing Snake Shabazz at it again, Pop Smokes.
Oh,
but
boy.
that's a conversation for another time. Moving on from there, our next match, we've got Matt Hayter taking on Vinny or Vincent Di Maria. These were a couple of names we did see. I believe there was that tournament or that group stages sort of situation that they got going on. I believe the commentary mentioned that a couple times as well too, but we saw both these gentlemen last time out in the Riot City Rumble. Again, wonderful work from these two guys. Again, I can see why Matt Hayter, Vincent Di Maria, both names that they are pushing towards the top, because these guys are the ones who are clearly, obviously drawing the attention and the ire of the fans. They look good in the ring. They've got a good move set between the two of them, and these two work well together. They worked quite well together. This was a solid one-on-one encounter between these two gentlemen.
I thought so also, and you could see that Hayter had some experience. He's an established guy to a certain extent, and he was bringing along Vincent Di Maria, who's a good-looking young wrestler as well. He needs some more experience, but he got some in this match, and they put on quite a good show. And I love this because, again, the Di Maria was a classic babyface. The fans got behind him immediately because they like the way he looks. They don't like the way the other guy looks. And yeah, heat being built throughout the match, all kinds of healing going on from Hayter. But Di Maria pulls out the win at the end and has the crowd firmly on his side. Again, house show match. This is perfect for helping to build your less experienced guys. And now, excuse me, look where Di Maria is. He's in the semi-main event against a nice experienced heel like Matt Hayter. And look at that. They get a nice 13-minute match, approximately, something like that out of it. This is golden experience for the younger wrestler. Perfect thing to do in front of a crowd, in front of cameras. It's going to be on YouTube, so get your game face on, kid. It's a perfect opportunity. He took this opportunity and ran with it. Love to see a good match like this.
I do too, yeah. And again, Hayter is also one of the title holders in RCW as well too. And in this non-title matchup, you had Hayter getting pinned in this situation. So again, here is a great opportunity to build the stars of tomorrow, and even maybe build up a story here as Vinny getting a big victory over one of your current champions. Now gives you that opportunity for him to say, look, I pinned his ass. Where's my opportunity? Where's my title shot? And it's a perfect setup for a matchup between these two with the belt on the line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well done. And this is something this commentary team, when they get back to Adelaide, can draw on this. So even though they're not advancing formal storylines on their tour shows, probably not trying to advance them very much, this is something that the commentary team can go back to and mention again, like, well, Di Maria got the pin over Hayter in Gambier, and we've seen it. We've got the clips. You can go onto YouTube and watch it, and this just builds more lore towards a possible title match in the future.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. We'll be able to watch that.
Yep.
Again, everybody go check out RCW on YouTube. Go subscribe to them and check out these matches absolutely free. But with that said, Pops folks, it's time now for our main event of the evening. We got tag team action. Again, we're going to see Redshaw for a second time here tonight, teaming up with Dean Brady to take on the Armstrongs, Nick and Jet Armstrong. And now here you go with 4 quality boys in the ring in your main event. This is all over the place. This is Smash Mouth. This is the exact way you really, a crowd that's been watching throughout, you've warmed them up, and boom, you hit them with this main event between 4 of your top guys, slugging it out like they did. This was a hell of a way to top off this night.
Yeah, totally agreed. And you could see again, just the level of talent in that main event was really, they were showcasing the best stuff they got. And you know that this crowd was eating this up. Brady and Renshaw, good heel team, both strong guys, both with a kind of Smash Mouth type style. The match started on the outside with brawling. You know the fans are going to be loving this because that engages them even a little bit more. All 4 of these wrestlers have history together, and the commentators kind of caught us up on that a little bit. It was slightly hard to follow, but some of the opponents in this match had been tag teams in the past, and somebody else had turned on somebody else. At any rate, there was various levels of beef throughout this tag team match, and these guys made it into an emotional thing. The Armstrongs were the hometown Mount Gambier boys, excuse me, obviously well known in that town by the local wrestling fans. So they're coming out as pure white baby faces, so to speak, right? Like they can do nothing wrong. And the heels, threatening, big, strong, gonna bend the rule book. We saw a big referee bump in this match. They were gonna try and do anything to come out with the victory, but the Armstrongs, classic babyface style, they're too strong, they're too good, and they're too driven. Even when they absorbed a whole bunch of punishment and there was a whole bunch of heat gotten on them, they came back and made it a fight, made it a down and out brawl. And wow, good, strong main event over a 15-minute match. Gave the fans their money's worth. And again, for a spot show when you're on the road, this is just what the doctor ordered. 4 top guys in the same match in the main event. Fans are just going to eat this up completely.
Yeah. Oh, and overall, this whole show, I thought it was well produced. It was great the way they put it together. They did a perfect job of setting it up from this point in time to this point in time. You know, it's just a little bit over the hour mark and stuff for the length of the total show. Fantastic. This is a great release for anybody looking to start to get into RCW for the very first time. They've got their bigger cards. The full shows are on there available as well too. But to do these other ones where they're on the road and they could put it together like a television program, that's what at this time around, I didn't feel like I was watching taped for YouTube. I felt like I was watching an actual produced TV program that was supposed to air on a Saturday afternoon or something like that. So kudos to them for the way they put it together. And, they throw their little sponsorship ads in between. So that's why it really did feel to me like this was a television production.
Yeah, very much so. And that's one of the high points of the shows I've watched from RCW so far is the high production value. Cheers to the backstage guys there. You're doing a great job, from the commentators who were very good, very knowledgeable, and had great broadcasting skills, so to speak, to the way the show looked. They had the venue doesn't look very big, but they had it lit. They like the ring to be lit lightly and the crowd to be dark. That's one way to do it. I like that prize fight style, so to speak. Um, they have a beautiful entrance ramp and video screen and all that. The lighting is awesome. The camera work is good. I love this. I love this production, and the way they made it into a TV show was very nice too. Like we said, the intro that showed a little bit about where they were and a little bit about the country they're in and the town they're in, what it looks like, what it's like. This is just nice. This is a professional production, like you might do for a sporting event of a different kind. So very fan friendly, very user friendly to watch. One of the high points of this company, even with all that wrestling talent, is the production value. Excellent job, guys.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more, Bob Smokes. Great job by RCW, and I'm glad that they are part of our regular arsenal now of companies to cover here on Ring Respect Radio. So looking forward to the next one out and what they got planned and everything like that. I know they got some big stuff coming up in the next few weeks there, so we'll be looking for those YouTube releases and being able to bring some of that information back to our audience here on Ring Respect Radio. So that was RCW, Papa Smokes, and they do great things, and we know we've got a lot of great things going on too. I just want to give a quick shout out to a good friend of mine here, Papa Smokes, quickly. So if you happen to be in the Saskatoon area, I'm going to pop that right up on the screen. I want you to reach out to my good buddy Ethan Dole, eDole Fit over on Instagram. This guy, not only on Instagram, is providing absolutely free workout and fitness advice and stuff like that. He is a personal trainer here in Saskatoon, and talk about a guy who knows his shit. This guy knows his shit. So if you're looking to get in shape, looking to find out things that you could even do at home to get started, or ways that you could start to build that muscle mass and everything like that, and proper ways of eating, the nutrition wise too. He's also trained in healthy nutrition as well too. So very good guy. I told him I'd give him a shout out here on the show. He's a good supporter of ours. So yeah, check him out on Instagram there and look at his work, because he does some good stuff there. So very much like to help out people in the local area.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'd like to give a little shout out if I can too.
Yeah.
Just we're not making any money or any sponsorship out of this, but I have a friend starting a new pizza business in the city of Saskatoon. It's called Paradox Pizza. They only they don't have an actual brick and mortar space to work in quite yet, but they're working out of a different restaurant. You can get pizza every couple of Tuesdays there, and he's got a really great slant on pizza. It's Detroit style pizza, nice thick crust, but all natural toppings and beautiful cheeses and everything. Check it out. It's a website. It's on social media. Paradox Pizza Saskatoon. Give it a try. It's good stuff.
Paradox Pizza Saskatoon. I'm interested in trying it myself there, Papa Smoke. So I appreciate that shout out. And we're always happy to give shout outs. Bobby, I'm going to get to what you said in a moment here, but this comes as an interesting note. Basser saying, I don't want to alarm anyone, but I just bought the last 2 tickets from Hunter's Bowling, or at least that's what the girl who sold them to me said. So sorry, suckers. I told you, man. I'm glad you went and got off your ass and went got him, brother, because holy shit, like I knew they were moving, but damn, the fact that we are that close to completely 100% sold out for Prairie Pro Wrestling's Ring of Horrors 3, I'm delighted, Pop Smokes. This just goes to show how strong Prairie Pro Wrestling and the nation are right now, currently.
Oh man, it makes my heart sing to see stuff like that. And to know that the fans are just clamoring for the big show of the year. This is what we want. Everybody come to this one. Don't miss this one for sure. Vassar getting the last tickets on Hunter's Bowl. That's too classic. That's too sweet.
Too sweet. All right, we're going to take this last one here before we start to wrap things up. But Bobby wanted to say he really liked your interview with Mark. He's looking forward to watching my interview this Saturday. So, but Papa Smokes, your interview with Mark, some technical difficulties, but we got through it there, my man, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks to you, Bobby, for listening and being part of that. That was really fun.
Yeah.
I was stressed out and kind of jazzed out about something wrong with my internet that day, and it didn't want to hook up StreamYard. So we just obviously did it over the phone with Munson. But what a great idea for a series that was by Mark, letting everybody get introduced to all the Ole people so that you don't just hear us talking about wrestling all the time. You guys can get to know us a little bit as people. And there was just, I was flattered. There was so much kind words spoken and everything. And just like we were talking about with the match, there was positive energy flowing back and forth, back and forth. It gets stronger the more it flows. So really, my heartfelt thanks to everybody that watched and listened. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. And you, with that support, you help and motivate us to do better work here and continue to do good work. Let's bring this podcast and this channel up to new levels. We can do it together. We're a team. We all play a position. As a team, we can get this done. Love it. Thanks to everyone. Thank you so much.
Well, it was fantastic. And Ed asking if he should say nice things about me. Yeah, it's all good, Ed. It's all good. I'll be talking enough crap throughout the entire thing. We don't need to go that route. It's all good, man. But yes, as I say that though, Papa Smokes, we are coming to the top of the hour, and we want to make way for the team of Auntie Collins and Kimmy So Cool. We're going to be taking over with the Honor Ramble, talking about Ring of Honor Wrestling and just fun life in general. So if anybody wants to go have a good chuckle, these women are killing it every single Thursday night following us all here on the channel. So go and check them out. But in the meantime and in between time, we just got a whole lot more expensive because it's that Papa Smokes ticker that hit the airwaves. Papa Smokes, tell them where you can be found.
Oh, hell yeah. I could be found on Elon Musk's Free Speech Wonderland, also known as X. I am at smokes_Papa. Also on Twitch at Papa_Smokes_.
That's where you can find him. And I thank you, Bobby, for saying that you would say nice things about me. I appreciate that, my man. Where you can find me over on the X, I am at Real Bobby Munson, Instagram and Threads at Video Bros SK, and on Twitch, it's VideoBro_Bobby Munson. As mentioned, I will be interviewed by Mark this coming Saturday as the second to last interview. I guess the last interview that Mark's conducting in this series, and then you'll be able to follow us the following Saturday when I interview Mark, so we get our turn to turn it back on the interviewer himself. But this Saturday, yes, it's no holds barred. Bobby tells all. Come find out whatever you want to find out and join us live if you're able to. Otherwise, make sure to get some questions in. Send them to Mark at Mark Talks WWE over on X, and he will make sure those are asked to me this coming Saturday. So I'm looking forward to it. Then you're going to be able to join. Possible, I don't know. I might not be involved with the Bad Blood post show this Saturday. I know Mark is. I'll see if we have other people involved. I might bounce on it and stuff like that. I love when other people get opportunity here on the channel, and I don't have to stay up that goddamn late to be on screen there. But nonetheless, I may be there. We'll find out. But I will be here on Sunday with you guys, with Ed Fries as well as Mark Robson, as we're going into this one. The NFL predictions are starting to go the way of Team Munson and Fries. We're only a few behind Mark, and I believe we have drawn even with the viewers. So the catch-up is on. Ed saying he's about 50-50 on the Bad Blood thing, so Ed might be there. Bad Blood has an early start. Early start times I do appreciate. I really do appreciate those. So, yes, we will get to that this coming Saturday. But where you can also check out all the work here is right here on our local establishment. So there you go. On all social media, you can follow our local establishment as well as YouTube and Twitch. Make sure if you're following along on YouTube to subscribe to the channel, smash that notification button, give us a thumbs up, and leave us a comment. Always checking the comment section. Always looking forward to engaging and talking to all of you. And Bobby, we believe in you too, my man. You have been one of the biggest supporters of the whole channel, as well as us here on Ring Respect Radio. And we really do appreciate you, my man, and all the support right back to you. Thank you very much, Bobby. But that is going to be it for myself from Papa Smokes. We appreciate you. Thank you. And we will see you in a week's time. Take care, everybody.